If you are studying for your CCNA or just want to simulate networks, you need Cisco Packet Tracer. But installing Packet Tracer is no more a straightforward process. In this video, I'll show you how to sign up for a free Cisco Networking Academy profile, download the official Packet Tracer installation file, and also help you build your first lab. So with that being said, I'm going to take you here to my web browser, and I'll show you a step-by-step process of how to do this. All right, so first thing first, you go to Google and then look up for Cisco Packet Tracer download. All right, once it brings you here, click on the first link that it shows you, and the URL is netacad.com. All right, if you also know the URL, you can equally go ahead and key it in here, and that is the netacad.com/cisco-packet-tracer. All right, so you're gonna have two options once you get to the official page in here. The first one is to log in, and then the other one is to sign up. The login option is essentially meant for if you already have a Cisco Network Academy profile. If you click on login, then it will ask you for your credentials, as in your email and also your password to get into the resources. But otherwise, you will have to go ahead and click on sign up. And in our case, we are assuming that you do not have an account with NetAcad. All right, so for the country in here, you go ahead and select what applies to you. And in my case, it is the United States. I'll select the state, my year of birth. Okay, let me see. I will do 1995, whatever that works for you. The month, I'll just go ahead and select the month. All right, and then I will click on continue. So from this point on, excuse me, it's going to ask you for your first name, your last name, your email, and also your password. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and key in that information. All right. Okay, and then I'll key in the password. Not the password, but my email rather. All right. Okay, then I'll go ahead and key in a password for it. This is not your email password. This is actually a password that you will need or you would use if you need to sign into your Cisco Networking Academy portal, essentially. So that's what this is. And then at the bottom one right here, you retype the password you just keyed in previously. Okay. All right, so I've done that. I'll go ahead and create an account. All right, so I'll say no thanks to saving my password, and then it's going to ask me for the terms and the conditions. I'll go ahead and check both. The second one is actually meant for your consent to receive email notifications from Cisco Networking Academy. But if you don't want to have that, you don't have to check the second one. But I mean, just for the sake of this tutorial, I'll go ahead and select it, accept, and continue. All right. Okay, so it's looking good already. So we have signed into Cisco Network Academy portal, and this is the dashboard. Once you get in here, go ahead and click on Browse Catalog. When you get to the catalogs, you scroll down to the bottom. It will show you a section for Packet Tracer. That is this one right here. Click on that. All right, still we have to scroll down. In the far left, you will see Getting Started with Cisco Packet Tracer. You click on that link again. All right, so once you get here, essentially this is where you will be able to find the Packet Tracer link to download. But before you do so, you have to go ahead and click on Get Started with Self-Paced. That is basically going to take you to the course modules as far as learning how Packet Tracer works. Okay, so you say 1.0.1 is a video to welcome you as in getting started with Packet Tracer, but you're gonna find the download at the 1.0.3 section. So to be able to get to this directly, I mean, you have two options. You can either scroll all the way down to 1.0.3, Or alternatively, you can just go ahead and click on 1.0.3 and it's going to take you straight to this page. So once you get here, you go ahead and click on the download link. All right, it's going to present you with the options of the different type of operating systems that are supported. The first one is for Mac OS 64 bits, as in Apple. The second one is Ubuntu 64 bits vis-a-vis Linux. And then the third option is for Windows. And in my case, I have a Windows computer. So whichever applies to you, you go ahead and select the one that applies to your case. All right, so we opt for 64 bits. And then that should initiate the download right now. And there we have it. It's downloading. Okay. All right. So depending on the speed of your internet, that will determine how fast or how slow this download works for you. By looking at the pace it is moving at, it does seem like it will finish in no distant time. All right, folks, we're almost there. So the installation file is downloading. I think it's done now. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open the download link here on my computer. I will go ahead and double click this. You can alternatively right click it and run it as administrator, but I mean, a double click will do the same thing for you. Okay, so it is coming along pretty good. All right, so it's going to walk me through some options. All right, so here presents me with a terms or license agreement, so I'll just go ahead and accept that. Next, this next section shows me the installation path. In my case, it's the C, program files, and Cisco Packet Tracer. I will do next. I'll do next again. This section is going to ask me to create shortcuts. The first one is to create a desktop shortcut. All right. The second one is to create a quick launch shortcut. So I'm going to opt for both. I'll do next. And then this last option is to install. All right. So folks, it's looking pretty good so far. And yeah. Once the installation is done, I'll walk you through some basic things in Packet Tracer, essentially just to get you up and running with your first lab so you can start doing your lab simulations. Because this is a very handy tool for simulating networks, and especially for those that are currently undergoing their CCNA studies. So this will be a very, very handy tool for you to use. Okay, so the installation is moving. It should be done in no time, and then we'll pick it from there. Okay, it's almost there. All right, it's actually a very light file though. I mean, Packet Tracer is not heavy, so don't worry about the specs on your computer. I would say if you have at least 4 GB RAM, on your computer, this will pretty much be well handled, yeah. And yeah, so Packet Tracer is not all that heavy. I mean, I have used other simulators. Those come pretty processor intensive, simulators like GNS3 and all the other cool stuff out there. Those will need more processing power, but Packet Tracer is very light, and that's one plus about it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it looks like our installation is still running, and hopefully this will be done in no time. And yeah, I think it's finalizing now, almost there. Yeah, so once this is all said and done, it's gonna give you a very, very, very real feel of Cisco iOS interface. That's what I like about it. All right. Okay, so it says completing the Cisco Packet Tracer setup wizard. Excuse me. I'll go ahead and do finish. With that done, now it's gonna prompt me to select whether I want to share this computer, or as in this Packet Tracer, with other users. Let's say for public computers, for instance. Or if it is personal computer like mine or perhaps yours, you want to opt for no, because it's only for you. You're not sharing this computer with nobody else. So I'll just say no. All right. It's looking pretty good so far. So Packet Tracer is launching, guys. You know, we get to build our first network from here. All right, so to quickly move through this, there are so many widgets in here. It does look a little bit complicated, especially if you are new to Packet Tracer, but trust me, it is not as complicated as it looks. Okay, so this first option here at the bottom left is a router. I'm gonna pull up one router here. Like I promised, we're gonna build a lab, guys. We're gonna build a lab. The second one is a switch. Let me pull up a switch here. All right, so we have computers here. Those are the end nodes. I'll just pull up one computer, 2 and 3. And just to make it look interesting, I'm gonna add two more switches, just to give this a little bit of let's make it look interesting. All right, so to connect the cables in here, we can run through this pretty quick, but I promise you in my next video I will give you a good rundown, as in a good walkthrough of how Packet Tracer works, all these shortcuts and all these cool tricks you can do, but as far as this one, I'll just touch on the basics, basic enhancements, just to get you up and running. All right, so these are all cable types right here. Like I promised, on the next video I'll try to go through each and every one of these and give you the details on those. But right now what we're looking for is straight through copper cable, and that is this one right here. The dotted ones are is the crossover. Basically, if you're trying to connect like devices together, let's say a router and a router, or a switch and a switch, if need be. All right, so this Z signs right here, the one with the clock, the one without the clock, and all these ones, these are the one these are the one connectivities. But now we need a fast Ethernet, straight through. So you click on it once, you click on your desired device, select one interface, an available one. And mind you, once you already use the interface, if you click on it, the interface is not going to show up again. I'll show you this as we go. So I'll click Gigabit Ethernet 0/0, click on the first switch, I'll click on fast Ethernet 0/0, I'll come back to the cable again. Okay, let's see, I'll click the router one more time, I'll do this, fast Ethernet 0/0. Now let's connect our end devices. This is so cool, guys. This is so cool. Okay, I'll do this again. Let me connect these two computers on one switch, and then the third computer will be the only one on the other switch. We'll be doing so many labs through the CCNA through the CCNA series, guys. We'll be doing so many things: VLANs, inter VLANs, the famous router on a stick, you name it. All right, so like I promised, guys, this is your first lab. How cool is this? This is cool. This stuff just makes me excited. All right, so let's see what this router interface looks like. All right, if you come in here and you click on CLI, it will take you to the command prompt of the router. So if you've ever worked with a router or a Cisco switch and it has no configurations, let's say it is blank, this is the first page it's going to present you with. So this is basically going to ask you to enter the initial configuration dialog. If you're comfortable with the commands, as in what commands to key in to dictate to the router what you want it to do, you just go ahead and key in N for no, or you can just go ahead and do NO for no. All right, but if you want to use the configuration dialog, then you can just opt for yes. So usually, who does yes? We just do no. All right, and you press enter again. It's gonna take you to the prompt, and you do enable. It takes you in here. So guys, for some reason I don't know, but the white background and the black text, it just looks very weird to me. Let me show you how to adjust that, and the fonts too. Okay, so to be able to do that, all you gotta do is come to options, you go to preferences. All right, once you come to options and preferences, go to fonts. Okay, this is where you can change all of that. So in the CLI, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave this alone. but I'll change the font to 13. All right. So under the general interface, I like Times New. Let's do Arial, just for the fun of it. Okay, I'll select 13 here. All right. My preferred colors on my Cisco devices usually, I like my iOS text to be black. Okay, no, I take that back. Yellow. It has to be yellow. All right. So my iOS background will be black. Okay, and then I will apply. So when I apply this and then I close, I go back here. You see what that looks like? This is more pleasing to my eyes. And I bet you would prefer this too. But I mean, there are so many other cool stuff you can do with this tool. You can enhance this to your preferences. Whatever that works for you. All right. So that being said, let's expand this window here a little bit so we can get to see everything this router is going to show us. All right, so let's do some basic show commands just to show you that this actually does work. Okay, if you want to know the interfaces in this box, I'll do show IP interface brief. Let me type properly. So IP interface brief. It shows you the interfaces. Okay, if you want to know the router model and the uptime and all that cool stuff, it'll be show version. Do not mind the shortcuts I'm using right now. Okay, so once we start getting into details in this CCNA series, I will get to show you how all the shortcuts come about, and also what the complete commands would be as opposed to the shortcuts. All right, so this is the show version. You see, this will show you everything about this router. It will show you that it is a Cisco 1941, is K9. It will show you the uptime. Uptime, basically how long this router has been up. It says 6 minutes and 1 second. Okay, so yeah, all this pretty stuff, man. All right, if you do show run, this will show you everything that is currently configured on this router. And as you already know, we haven't configured anything yet, but just for the sake of it, let me just configure a very basic thing for you. Config terminal. Let's change the host name. Let's call it my first router. How about that? All right, so I will end this and I will try to save this, copy running configuration into startup configuration. The tab key basically will complete your commands for you if you already type the first few initials of that command. If we press on enter, it's going to ask us to confirm the destination file name. Just go ahead and press enter again. And there you go. Your router's name is my first router. All right. So now if you do a show run, it will show you that this router's name has been changed. And as you can rightly see, my first router. All right. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. You come to a switch. The switch is the same. We've already adjusted the preferences to our preferred color and our preferred text. The switch will also give you the same feel. All right, if you do enter enable, so IP interface brief, if I can type that properly, it will show you all the interfaces on the switch, and it is a 24-port switch. It has 2 gigabit interfaces. All right, and rightly so. If you also do a show version on that, it will show you all these parameters on the switch. It will show you the uptime and all this cool stuff. Switch uptime is 39 minutes. All right, that's what it says. Yeah, I don't know about that, but anyways. All right, so this would give you all the parameters of the switch. All right, if you do a show run, it will show you all the current configurations of the switch. Yeah, that's all it takes. Essentially get an account, sign into Cisco Network Academy, get the installation file, install it, and boom, you're ready to go. So, all right, guys, there you have it. If this video was helpful for you, please consider subscribing to my channel. It lets me know that I am on the right track. I also love to know your thoughts on today's topic, so leave a comment below. On that note, I will see you on the next one.